The San Francisco Fed naming current Executive Vice President and Research Director Mary Daly as its new president. Important to note because Ms. Daly, who takes office October 1, will replace John Williams, who went over to head the New York Fed. She will vote in the upcoming December meeting. She focused her research on job loss, labor, and health, a similar background to former Fed Chair Janet Yellen. She was the Executive Vice President, Director of Research in 2017, served on advisory boards, the CBO, Social Security, and the Social Security Administration, PhD in economics from Syracuse University, at the Fed since 1996. Now, the Fed has been under pressure to appoint minorities and women. The search committee said they interviewed many women, many minorities, and many of everybody else, noted that it's hard to find people to move to San Francisco despite the salary around $500,000. As I said, Daly will vote in the December meeting, but then not again because of the rotation of the committee until 2021. Esther George, the Kansas City Fed president, had Daly's vote until now. She joins a board, a federal open market committee full of newbies, 2 new Fed vice chairmen, new Atlanta and Richmond Fed presidents, along with a new New York Fed president, although to be fair, he was the old San Francisco Fed president. And it's worth noting, guys, we may want to watch Ms. Daly because the past heads of the San Francisco Fed, well, one went on to be chair, the other head of the New York Fed. So we'll see what happens here with Ms. Daly.
Yeah, they've got a good track record, don't they? Any sense as to her policy leanings? I mean, doesn't San Francisco Fed usually sort of go dovish in terms of their policy?
Yes, has been a dovish one. And honestly, Sarah, I do not have any, but I can look at a person who has focused on labor and labor market outcomes along with life cycle and those sorts of things. People like that tend to be dovish and think the Fed ought to do more to sort of keep the spigot open, to put people back to work, because their findings invariably, Sarah, lead them to the conclusion that it is terrible for a person to be out of work even for a year. And so, in general, those sorts of economists, it was some of the things that animated Ben Bernanke, it animated Janet Yellen, this idea that, hey, Congress wasn't doing anything to help people get back to work. The Fed ought to do all that it could, and for a lot of the reasons that are embedded deeply in economic research.
Steve, did you say $500,000 salary? I thought Jay Powell only got $200,000.
The Fed banks are free to pay more than that. That is correct. There's a differential there.